We have a surprise talker, and many of you know Jim Tucker. He has been in the game for maybe around 30 years. Yeah, let's have a talk with Jim Tucker. Jim Tucker left us last year. He had the American Free Press, and he died last year. But we are fortunate to have Mark Anderson, who is the apprentice of Jim Tucker. And he's here, he's covering the Bilderberg for the 5th year, and he is asked to speak. And please bear with me, he said he will make it brief because we know it's hard to stand for so long. But Mark Anderson from American Free Press, thank you.
I used to work as a musician, so every time I see a mic, I go, testing, 1, 2, testing. But it's always hard to be the lunchtime speaker, so I know you're hungry and you've been standing a while. I'll be brief. As he noted, I followed up on Jim Tucker. I'm his protege, and it's just great to be here for my 5th Bilderberg. But I wanted to stress what I told the Swedish film crew yesterday, and to kind of amplify what Luke Radowski said earlier today when he was speaking. He made some great points. With the Bilderberg Group, the main lever of control, and some of you I'm sure know this in the general sense at least, is the control of the creation of money. Now the control of the creation of money is the ultimate control. Along with that, of course, they control agriculture, the privatization of large water supplies, all the basic tenets of human existence they want to put under their control through centralized corporate farming and GMOs, through privatizing and harnessing all the water, through other means, even the way our houses are constructed. All of the ways in which we live could be so much better and so much healthier, but there's poisons in the water, poisons in the food, and the distortion of the monetary system through the way they create money. And I just want to stress this, the transmission of their engine is literally the fact that they take money and credit and create it out of thin air. Now, creating it out of thin air is not really the bad part. The bad part is they attach interest to it. So for every dollar that comes into existence, more than $1 is drawn out of existence. So they always have us on this steep treadmill where we never have enough money to buy what's produced, and there's always way more debt than there is money to pay that debt.
It's a Ponzi scheme.
So by divorcing them from the monetary system, by getting, for instance, the U.S. Congress or smaller monetary systems into place, and doing the same thing throughout the world, we see then kind of the Death Star of Darth Vader, the central control. And by disarming that, we disarm the entire Bilderberg Trilateral Atlantic Council system. And so I stress that. Maybe he's amplifying what I'm saying, who knows. But at any rate, I only point this out because we can all keep that in the center of our minds, whatever our groups might be, whatever media we work for, whatever kind of activists we are. We can all agree on that one unified point, and that's to deprive them of the ability to privately create money at interest and thereby control the entire lifeblood of commerce. And so governments and peoples can create their own money interest free. It can be a sovereign act of government. Once again, we can have legislative, judicial, executive, and monetary brought back into public control without interest. And there's actually been bills on that proposed. H.R. 2990 was a bill in Congress a couple of congressional sessions ago by Dennis Kucinich. Who's heard of Dennis Kucinich, a congressman, a former congressman now? He introduced this bill that would have disarmed the Federal Reserve and returned the creation of money interest-free to public control. The next thing you knew, they redistricted his district in northern Ohio, and he was no longer a congressman. And so this is how the banksters and the Bilderberg-connected banksters came back on someone that tried to deprive the Bilderbergers and their brethren of the power to create money. But I just wanted to call attention to that as the central transmission of their control, and thereby, if we throw sand in that, if we rip that out of their engine of control, so to speak, metaphorically speaking, then they no longer have that central power, and they'll soon be depleted of their influence. And of course the goal, and I think we can all agree on the goal, and that is to close the book on Bilderberg. Not just expose them, not just talk about why this private government is wrong, but to close the book on them, to end the Bilderberg meetings. So on that note, I'll let you go. Let's remember the central control of money. We have to divorce them from that and put an end to private government and a new awakening and a new day for real freedom throughout the world. Thanks a lot.